Okay, my hydroponic pipe NFT build. Okay, I'm inside my greenhouse. I've got 3 posts left over from my TP build, so I screwed them into the bottom there and I zip tied them to the framework of the greenhouse. I've got some plumber's wire screwed on there to support the pipe after I get them in there. Okay, so here I am with the pipe. The pipe, I measured this first hole 12 inches in, and then I went from there. I went on 16-inch centers, and I marked them all out first. Now I use the pipe has the manufacturer's printing all along it. That's pretty much a straight line, so I put a dot every 16 inches till I got to the end. Okay, so I decided I'd pre-drill each of the holes with the smaller hole, just so I wouldn't make any mistakes and everything would be spaced out equally. So, and I'll start here, work my way back. Okay, so I got the 3-inch hole drill on there. So we'll get it going. Now if I recall right, there's 10 holes that in each pipe. I have 2 pipe. So, and yeah, look at that, eh? You just get started, battery goes dead. So we'll have to go grab another battery here and resume hole drilling. Okay, there we are. Let's finish this one off. So, using a 3-inch hole. Now I'm going to be making my own net pots. Yeah, there it is. Now what I found is drilling these holes, you get a rocket back and forth like I'm doing here. It's a little bit quicker, but it wobbles that center hole where that starter drill is, and you can pull them off by hand. So all the holes are drilled, so I got to go back with a knife and get all the burrs and barbs off, and then I'll sand them, because you don't want to be reaching in a hole and get one of the little barbs hooking on your hands. So I'll be back when that's all done. Okay, now I have this garbage can. It's got a pop-up lid, so I'll drill a hole in the side. There it is, 4 inches. The pipe will drain down into that. So there it is there. I'm just checking to make sure the 4-inch pipe fits. So back into the greenhouse. I got the sub pump set up there, and I get this first pipe. It's going to hang off level. The right hand side, the far end there, will be I would say an inch higher than where it goes into the garbage can, just so the water runs back down there. Now the garbage can doesn't seem to be want to sit quite proper. It's on an angle all the time and a little wobbly. I stuck a couple of 2x4s underneath it, and it's still just a little bit, just doesn't want to sit quite right. So it took a little bit of trial and error, and what I ended up doing is that post where I'm at right now, I ended up putting a 2x4 between the pipe and the post, because it was a little too tight to the back 2x6 at the floor there, so it was pushing the garbage can to lean backwards. So I just wedged it out there on that first one, and all's good. So here's the second pipe. I got the plumber's wire hanging there too. So we'll sort of eyeball it a little bit, and it will go downhill from the garbage can to the other end. An inch, maybe a little more. Like I say, a lot of it's trial and error. You get it up there and you stand back, have a look at it, say, yeah, okay. All you really got to know is water runs downhill, but it's just how fast you want it to run down the hill. So we'll stick the elbows on here and see what I need to connect it all together. So a little bit of playing around, just because you're not 100% sure of what I'm doing. It's pretty much how I think it's going to look and how it's going to sit. So I put a nice clean out on the end here to help things in the fall when you clean it out. So I put a pail of water in there, stuck my handy dandy sub pump in there, stick the hose in this end, hopefully water comes out in the bottom there, which it does. So gravity's doing its job. I got it running downhill there and running downhill back the other way. So that looks pretty good. Okay. So the water flow looks pretty good, so it's not too bad. Okay, we'll have a look down in there. You can see the hose is running it. It's pretty nice. Okay, now that I fumbled with that, we'll get it on there. Okay, so it's set up. Everything's looking pretty good. I got this just a little bit bigger. I figure that's how it's going to be, so just left to glue it all together. So, of course, I go to get my glue. It's all dried up in there. It's just like rubber. So I gotta wait till tomorrow, run into town and get some more on my way home. So I get up tomorrow, and lo and behold, Old Man Winter came again. Yeah, so he left us with a pretty view. The snow there, nice light fluffy snow. So I went and got the glue anyway, so I'm out here. We'll glue this all together. And everything will be ready for when it comes time to put some planting in there. Now, this glue is pretty much a clear colored glue. The other stuff I had was gray. I don't think there's any difference other than the color, so just put it on the same way. Make sure everything's clean. I don't know how fast you gotta work with it, but I just stick it all together. Now when I put this together, I gotta make it not quite 90. Just gotta push it off a little bit because I did offset that bottom pipe, so I offset this just a little wee bit, not even a quarter, maybe a quarter, I don't know. But yeah, it fits there good, see? You just bang it together. There we are. Now I made that turquoise piece a little bit longer than what I originally had, so that I could put higher stuff in the bottom, because I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to put all strawberries in this, or I was thinking I might try and grow a celery, because celery you can cut it off and leave the roots in there, and the roots will, excuse me, will regrow another plant. So maybe that's an experiment I can do on a couple. So there, everything's running good. This clean out end seems to be dripping pretty good. And bottom flow, there we go. The other end where the elbows are is not leaking, it's just got a bit of a leak here. So easy fix for that is I'll just go get some tape and tape it up. So everybody seems to think you got to put a clean out on the end here, so I went and got one, and we'll put it on there. It makes sense. That makes the job easier. There's my clean out wrench. It works real handy. Okay, so I'll get the hose and I'll turn it so it sprays right against it, and yeah, no leaks, so all good there. So time to swap out the pump. My pump came today, so it comes with just about every kind of fitting you could think of, except for the one that I want. I want to go from the 3/4 size down to the 1/2 inch regular garden hose size. So I got this little piece of pipe left over from when I did the other pump in the flood drain. my gravel beds. So I'll wiggle that on there. It fits nice and tight, that one. So I just got a couple of big clamps, so the big one should work. On that 3/4 inch one, it's just not going to work so good on the 1/2 inch one. So I got it as tight as I can, but that's still pretty loose in there. Hopefully it'll hold it in, it won't blow it off. So we'll screw this piece on there. And so you can see how big those clamps are. They don't need to be that long, but use what you have at the time, and that's what I have at this time. So that one on the top one there where the brass hose fitting is, I'll probably swap out later. So there we are in the greenhouse. We'll get rid of this handy dandy sub pump of mine. It's a great little toy, very handy, but not made for this. So here's the new pump. All we gotta do is screw the hose to the adapter I made up there. Drop it down in there. Make sure the hose is in there so it don't spray all over the place. Plug her in. See what kind of pressure we got. Now it's running. Here, I'll just have to grab the camera. Yeah, see? It's running pretty good. It's got a great flow in there. So we'll go down the other end and just sort of see what kind of water it's doing, whether it has to push it down there or whether gravity's doing its thing, helping it along. So, okay, so that's lots of water. It's flowing pretty good. Down the bottom's flowing pretty good too. So there we are. We'll make this a little more permanent. So what I did is I didn't push record when I was drilling the holes. So here I drilled a hole for this electrical cord to come through there, like so. And then I drilled one so the garden hose would go through there. And I drilled one in the top pipe so the garden hose would go in there too. But I didn't film it. But there's that clamp I was telling you about that was none too tight. So it's spraying it out the side there where the electrical box is. So I'll fix that. It's an easy fix, fixing that. And I'll just pour some more water in there so the spray is under the water. So that'll work. Okay, thanks for watching.